Hi everyone, welcome back to English Hero, and as promised, we're going to discuss the last topic of adjectives, which is the comparison of adjectives, or the 3 degrees of comparison. Okay? First, we have the positive, which is the simple form of adjective. We have, for example, big, small, tall, and delicious. Okay? Those are examples of the simple form, the positive degree. If we're talking about a comparative degree, say you are comparing two nouns, for example, two persons, two places, two things, two animals, okay, so you're going to use comparative degree. For superlative degree, which is the highest degree of comparison, that's if you're comparing 3 or more than 2 nouns, okay? So for example, we have here, positive form is big, comparative form of that is bigger, and the superlative for big is biggest. Now as you notice, for comparative degree, you're going to put in, or you're going to put ER in the end for comparative and EST in the end for superlative. Okay? So for the rules of comparison of adjectives, we have I have listed here 4 rules for us to follow. Now, for adjectives mostly that have 1 syllable, and some adjectives that have 2 syllables are compared by adding ER, as I've said earlier. So, for example, big, it will become bigger. Another one is merry, synonymous to happy, it will become merrier. Okay, if the word ends in Y, you have to change the letter Y to I and then just simply add ER if we're talking about comparative. If it's superlative, however, you're going to use EST or put in EST in the end after the word. Okay? So from from merrier, it will become merriest. Alright, so always take note of that. Bear in mind that if the word or the adjective word has only 1 or 2 syllables, you're going to add ER if you are comparing 2 or 3 adjectives. 3 nouns rather. Next, a rule is when adjectives that has more than 2 syllables and others that that will be difficult to pronounce, okay? Just add ER and EST, okay? Same goes with this. For example, now beautiful has 3 syllables. Since we would be having hard time pronouncing this word, just by putting ER and EST, okay? So we have to put more and most or less or least instead, okay? So instead of saying beautifuler, because it's kind of awkward or difficult to pronounce this word beautifuler, so just insert more before the word, okay, before the adjective word, and then the adjective word. So more beautiful, that's a comparative form of beautiful, and the superlative form of beautiful is most beautiful. There you have it, okay? So always bear in mind again, for those words or adjective words that have more than 2 syllables, and sometimes it's kind of awkward or hard to pronounce that word, putting ER and EST in the end, we just have to compare it by using more or most or less or least instead. Okay? Third rule. Okay, for adjectives that are compared irregularly, so there are adjective words that are irregular, okay? For example, we have bad. So you don't say badder or baddest. So for bad, ill, evil, okay? So these are irregular words or regular adjectives. So for comparative form, it will be the spelling will be totally changed. Okay? So from bad, ill, evil, instead of saying badder, iller, or eviler, you will have to use the word worse in comparing. For comparative, worst, okay, with a T, if you are comparing more than 3, or more than 2 rather, more than 2 nouns, okay? Another regular adjectives is opposite to bad, which is good, or well, okay? Instead of saying gooder, there's no such word as gooder or weller. So, for comparative of good, that's better. So as you notice, the spelling is changed. Also, for superlative, it will become best. Okay? So for us to be fully versed about the irregular adjectives or regular words, or adjective words rather, you can just search on the net, okay, the examples of irregular adjectives and their comparative and superlative forms. Okay, for rule number 4, okay, a few adjectives, because of their meaning, okay, meaning from the dictionary, they don't admit comparison. Okay, of course, for example, infinite. So, if we say infinite, it has no limit. Okay, it's limitless. So, perhaps there's no really corresponding comparative form of that. So, it will be like as is. You don't compare 2 nouns using these words. So you gotta be careful, okay? A few adjectives, because of their meaning, don't admit comparison. You don't use these words. A few adjectives that, because of their meaning, it already denotes that it is in the fullest degree. It is in the highest degree already. So you don't use these words in comparing nouns. Okay? So like I said, same goes with irregular adjectives. You just have to search on the net some examples of a few adjectives that don't require or don't admit comparison. There you have it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We're done, or we're finished with the lesson about adjectives. So in my next videos, we're going to talk about pronouns this time. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and have a nice day. Bye-bye.